Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of the Triple Play. March Madness is underway and it's a beautiful thing. I'm Danielle Whaley and it's just going to be a one-woman show today. It's just me here, so thank you for joining in once again. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. March Madness, like I said, is well upon us. The first weekend of it has come and gone. It has been exciting to say the least. We're going to start off with the men's. In the first day of the round of 64 games, 5 games had a 1-point margin. Not sure if that's a record. It has to be a record, but 2 of those games were probably some of the most notable from the weekend, and they were 2 huge upsets that not many people saw coming. Georgia State, with the number 14 seed, took on Baylor, and they ended up beating the number 3 seeded Baylor Bears 57-56. Absolutely incredible game, huge win for Georgia State, and everybody's talking about their head coach falling off of his chair after the last major shot that was made to pretty much put Georgia State in the lead. Absolutely incredible game. Georgia State is definitely making a huge run here. It's really exciting for them coming in, like I said, as the number 14 seed. Huge win for them and definitely a major upset there. And looking over at another upset, UAB, the number 14 seed as well, took on Iowa State, who's the number 3 seed, just like Baylor was. Another 1-point margin here, UAB getting the win 60-59. Another incredible game. I definitely personally did not have these 2 games pegged as upsets. I mean, Baylor going in, I looked at them as being a very strong team. Georgia State, though, hadn't heard much about them. Football, that's another story. I've heard about them in football. But as for basketball, I was completely taken aback by this. Huge upsets, like I said. I mean, the UAB, Iowa State, I would definitely go ahead and say that was definitely the marquee upset in the South region. Huge game, like I've already said, unexpected there. And then with Georgia State and Baylor in the West, I mean, it would have been incredible to see Georgia State somehow taking on UAB. That could have been an incredible game, but I mean, the only way we would have seen that would be in the championship. And of course, that's highly improbable, especially now with both of those 2 teams being defeated in the round of 32. But definitely games to be excited about if you're a Georgia State fan or a UAB fan. Really exciting, but the other 3 1-point margin games were also very exciting. UCLA beating SMU 60-59. Cincinnati and Purdue, absolutely incredible game. It went into overtime. Cincinnati got the win 66-65, and North Carolina State beating LSU 66-65. I know for some people that was a bit of a surprise. Granted, it was an 8-9 matchup, NC State being the 8 seed, but LSU, they did look like they had height this season. Looked very promising, but NC State just definitely turned around and said, no, this is ours. We're going to take this matchup. But very exciting first day for the round of 64. Second day, still really exciting, but not as exciting. We didn't see too many surprises there. I mean, for teams that cruised in the round of 32, or in the round of 64, I'm sorry, Kentucky, Villanova, Arizona, they had easy wins on that first day. Not too many surprises there with them. But one thing that stood out, besides the 2 overtime games with Cincinnati and Purdue, and then Ohio State and VCU, which was also a very exciting game, Dayton. Dayton made a run last year, going into, I want to say, the Sweet 16, winning there, and then going on to the Elite 8. I'm pretty sure I may be wrong on that. But this time around, they were a play-in team. They come in, play Providence, a 6-11 matchup there, and they take Providence 66-53. Very exciting game there. Dayton, though, wasn't really surprised to see them win that game. More surprised seeing them go in to take Oklahoma and it being such a strong matchup. Looking at it, I figured Oklahoma would have the easy win. Oklahoma's a strong team on both sides of the ball, but Dayton came in, they were making shots and saying, you know what, we're right here, we're going to take you on nose to nose, and they did just that down to the final seconds. But in the end, sure, Dayton did make it to the round of 32. That's exciting for them. But Oklahoma, it was going to be a tough matchup. Oklahoma just took the reins, especially towards the very end, while Dayton was fouling like crazy to try to get some momentum going for them. Oklahoma just took over. Dayton couldn't stop them. Oklahoma ended up getting the win 72-66. And probably what I would say was the most exciting game of Sunday. Wichita State and Kansas, another really exciting game. Wichita State getting that upset, the 2-7 matchup, and Wichita State beats the Jayhawks 78-65. The round of 32 so far, I would say, was very exciting. Overall, it was great. A lot of good games to be watching. But looking ahead at what we have with the Sweet 16, Kentucky is still undefeated. They are in the Sweet 16. They beat Cincinnati, beat Hampton. Cincinnati game was much closer. They only won 64-51. Kentucky, they were making the right moves, but Cincinnati just stayed with them. There were some times whenever Kentucky's shooting was just off. Devin Booker had a really slow day from what I remember, which is kind of a surprise, but in some ways it's not. He was really strong this season. Well known for his three-point shot, how well he would do there. Granted, whenever he played against Tennessee here in Knoxville, it was a slow night for him. I think he only made 3 3-pointers that night, which is kind of unheard of with him. But Kentucky-West Virginia matchup. West Virginia just came off of a 10-point win against Maryland, winning 69-59. So I think this could be an interesting matchup. Could West Virginia beat Kentucky? Not completely sure. That game is going to be on Thursday, so we'll find out about that. But Sweet 16 games will be taking place March 26th and 27th, though. So this Thursday and Friday. So there's a lot to look forward to with that. But some of the matchups to look forward to, like I said, Kentucky and West Virginia should be exciting. North Carolina State and Louisville, Oklahoma, Michigan State, Notre Dame, and Wichita State. I'm really excited for this 3-7 matchup. Wichita State is just a team that's not going to give up, but Notre Dame has really shown their stuff. They had a close game against Butler in the round of 32. 67-64 was the final there, but Butler's going to keep it close no matter what. That's an exciting team to watch. It's been different since Brad Stevens left to go to the NBA, but Notre Dame really held their stuff against Butler, but I'm going to commend Butler for their strong showing there. And then if we look into the bottom part of the bracket, Wisconsin and North Carolina. Wisconsin is the number 1 seed in the West, and North Carolina is just looking really impressive. Granted, they did only have a 2-part margin in their win against Harvard, 67-65 in the round of 64, but against Arkansas, they pretty much took control of the game. Arkansas did have times where they would really show some promise in their playmaking, but North Carolina did win that. So seeing them take on Wisconsin almost looks like they're unstoppable right now. They have 2 dominating wins. They beat Oregon in this previous round, and then in the opening round they beat Coastal Carolina 86-72. So it looks like Wisconsin's almost unstoppable, but if any team could stand a chance right now, North Carolina could possibly do well against them, but I see Arizona. Granted, if Arizona beats Xavier in the Sweet 16, I think we could see something really exciting between Wisconsin and Arizona. I know in some of my brackets I think all of my brackets, I have Arizona beating Wisconsin because Arizona, that's a team with height and they can shoot from the perimeter like it's nothing. So it will be really exciting there. I think the West is definitely a region to look out for. But looking over at the South, we still have Duke in there, the number 1 seed there. They'll be taking on Utah on Friday night. So it might not be that much of a matchup. Utah has looked really strong in their 2 wins against Stephen F. Austin and Georgetown. Georgetown was an 11-point win there for them, and then against Stephen F. Austin, only a 7-point win. It's kind of surprising for a team like Utah in the first round, but really taking charge against Utah, that could show promise for the Duke matchup. I don't really know if I see Utah beating them. It could happen. Duke has been off and on all season. Granted, they finished the season really strong, number 2 in the nation, but not really sure what to expect here. And then Gonzaga and UCLA. I'm really excited about this matchup. While it is just a 2-11 matchup, UCLA could come out and turn some heads. They beat SMU by 1 point, getting the upset there, the 6-11 matchup, which was really exciting in the second round. But they did take control of UAB, winning 92-75. A lot of people were looking at UAB saying maybe they could beat UCLA. Who knows? It could happen. But against Gonzaga, I don't know if I see that happening. Gonzaga has scored a total of 175 points in their 2 matchups so far. 87 points against Iowa and 86 points against North Dakota State. So Gonzaga's looking really strong. I would love to see the 1-2 matchup between Duke and Gonzaga in the Elite Eight. I think that's pretty much probable right now to look at. I think that'll be really exciting. I think Gonzaga could end up beating Duke there. The 1 and 2 seeds just look strong in every region right now, except for the Midwest, of course, because Kansas got beat by Wichita State, which I'm happy to say I predicted that. outcome. It's tough to pick against Wichita State, and they definitely played hard last night to get that win. But right now, March Madness for the men's, it's always exciting. You never know what to expect. But it's hard to say. It's hard to pick against Kentucky right now. But if I had to pick a team that I think could beat Kentucky if they don't make it to the championship game, I could see Arizona, if Arizona wins out the West. I could see them potentially beating Kentucky. They can match them on size and shooting. Like I said, Arizona is really good from shooting from the perimeter. They have tall guys there, so I think they could either stand up to Kentucky or just completely beat them. Might be a close game if they take on each other, but I would like to see Arizona with the edge there. But it's just tough to root against Kentucky. They have looked really good in both of their games. A little weaker against Cincinnati, like I said, but still a lot to look forward to with the men's. But looking over at the women's, Tennessee fans do have the Lady Vols still to root for, and they are looking pretty darn good, I must say. They won their opening round game against Boise State 72-61, which was on Saturday. Bashara Graves, man, can she play. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. She looked great. But looking over at Sierra Burdick real quick, she did have 11 rebounds, which is absolutely impressive. No points, but that's okay. 5 assists and 2 steals from her. Both of these girls had very exciting games. I mean, Sierra, sure, she didn't score anything, but those 11 rebounds were super helpful for the Vols. And looking at scoring percentages, I was a little surprised by these. Pretty low for both teams. Tennessee from the field only shot 41%, almost 42%. Boise State shot almost 40.5%. Really surprising there. I was expecting Boise State to come up a bit stronger in the field. I mean, they had 10 losses this season, which was surprising. And Holly Warlick mentioned that to the Boise State coach after the game, saying, I don't see how you have 10 losses. But, they came out strong. Looking at three-point range shooting, Tennessee was shooting almost 39%. Boise State only shot 36%. But the one thing that I think Boise State has to hold on to is their free throw percentage, 85.7%. They only went to the line a few times, shooting 7 foul shots there. They went 6 for 7 on their foul shots. Tennessee went to the line, and they had 21 shooting opportunities, making 15 of those opportunities for 71.4%. So I did see Boise State scoring well from the free throw line, but only going for 7 shots. That kind of surprised me. I wasn't sure where these refs were going to go. I know whenever you get into the NCAA tournament, it does get a little bit more strict, but a lot of fouls going in favor of UT for them to only let Boise State go to the line to shoot 7 free throws there was really surprising. But UT led the game for 32 minutes. They had a 15-point lead at one point, which was the largest lead of the game for UT. In Boise State, they had a 7-minute lead. Just under a 7-minute lead, I'm sorry. 5 points being their largest margin of winning there. So Tennessee really did keep their handle on the game. They made sure that they kept it in check. But points in the paint, too, was really surprising. Tennessee had 38 points. That's really good for 38 points in the paint out of 72. Not too bad there. Boise State had 20 points in the paint. But there were 13 turnovers for both teams. And the points off the turnovers, Tennessee got 16 points and Boise State got 13. I thought maybe Tennessee could get a few more points off of those turnovers. I mean, if the turnovers might have been a little bit higher from Boise State, then maybe they could have gotten something off of that. But still getting 16 isn't bad. And I'm going to commend Boise State for getting 13 points off of turnovers. That's really big for them. But the next game for the Vols will be tonight, Monday night at 6:30 against the University of Pittsburgh on ESPN2. This is a tough matchup for me. I've mentioned before, my mom's from Pittsburgh, so Pitt Panthers, I watch them in just about every sport. I'm a big fan of their basketball team, the men's and women's. So it's going to be a tough night for me, but of course I'm going to be cheering on the ladies in the orange and light blue. So what to look forward to with Pitt. Pitt just came off of a win against Chattanooga, 51-40 this past weekend. Very good win for Pitt. Coming into this season, Pitt was expected to be last in the ACC, but they showed their stuff this season, doing fairly well in the ACC. They came into the tournament, I want to say, with 19 wins, but after beating Chattanooga, they're 20-11 now, which isn't bad. That's actually pretty good for them. But people to look out for in the chat game, Pitt's Stasha Carey had 16 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. She was the leader there for the Panthers. But one person I'm definitely looking forward to seeing is Brianna Kiesel. She's the top scorer on the season for Pitt, but in the game against Chattanooga, she only had 13 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. So pretty quiet night for her there, but those 4 assists were definitely big for the Lady Panthers. But as for what to expect for tonight, I'm really nervous about this game. I know a lot of people would kind of look at Pitt and kind of laugh. A 10 seed going against a 2 seed with Tennessee having the home court advantage. They're undefeated here at home this season, but also in the tournament. I want to say they're 54-0, maybe 55-0 now after beating Boise State this weekend. But it's going to be an electric crowd. Winner goes to the Sweet 16, so that's a lot to look forward to. The Lady Vols are definitely wanting to make this a memorable season for Sierra, Ariel, and Isabel, even though she's not playing due to her ACL, but a lot to look forward to with this team. Hopefully they can get the win tonight. It'll be really exciting no matter what, but like I said, 6:30 tip-off on ESPN2, so if you can't make it out to Thompson Bowling tonight, definitely tune in, and hopefully we'll see the Lady Vols going on to the Sweet 16. But now we're going to go ahead and move over to baseball real quick for the Diamond Balls. Tough weekend against Georgia. They lost the series. They didn't win anything this weekend, but there were some promising points. Looking at the Friday matchup, they lost to Georgia 2-1. But Brett Marks, I'm gonna go ahead and commend him for being titled the co-pitcher of the week in the SEC last week. Definitely a big thing for the Vols to get. It's always nice to have Vol athletes here getting recognition from the SEC and even from national standings, but to get SEC co-pitcher of the week is definitely exciting, and he won that with Will Crow, who's actually a friend of mine. Went to high school with Will Crow, pitcher at South Carolina now. He's a sophomore, so congrats to you as well, Will Crow. Definitely proud of you. But Brett Marks, he did really well in this game. He threw a career-high 8 1/3 innings in his 6th start of the season. So that's really exciting there for him. But he allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, and 7 strikeouts. Those 7 strikeouts were definitely something to be proud of. But looking over at batting, Christian Stewart had a great game. Came to the plate 4 times, racking up 1 hit, which was actually a double to the right field line, which brought in AJ Simcox for the RBI there, which was a big play for Kristen. AJ had just come off a double that he hit as well, so doubles back-to-back there to bring in a score was really exciting. Looking over at Saturday's game, the Vols lost 12-7. Drake Owenby he pitched 7 innings, going hitless into the 5th, which was really exciting. But he allowed 4 runs, none were earned, on 4 hits and 7 strikeouts. Designated hitter Andrew Lee was 2 for 4 with a home run and 4 RBIs, and Kristen Stewart had another big game, 1 for 3, 3 runs with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. So really exciting there for Stewart. Looking over at Sunday's matchup, the Vols lost 10-4. Hunter Martin went in during the 3rd inning to relieve Kyle Serrano. Hunter Martin ended up pitching 4 1/3 innings with 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, and 3 strikeouts. So, tough weekend for the Vols. It was really sad to see that game happen like it did, but they did beat Austin Peay last week, so that's something to be pretty excited about. But whenever SEC play starts for baseball, it's always going to be really interesting to see how Tennessee will fare. Because, if you have teams like South Carolina still that you have to go against, and, Florida is usually really strong. They haven't been as strong as they were, like, in 2011 whenever they made it to the College World Series. But still, it is kind of sad that the Vols did go winless in this series. Granted, it was against Georgia. Not a bad team there, but I was kind of expecting more from the Vols, but there's still some promising parts to look forward to for this team. But their next game will take place on Wednesday night against Cincinnati here at home at 7 p.m. If you can't make it out to this game, you can definitely watch it on the SEC networks. That's 7 o'clock on Wednesday against Cincinnati. That's something to definitely look forward to. And looking over at softball for the Lady Vols, they had a big series this weekend against Missouri. They ended up they ended up winning the series 2-1, so that's really exciting. On Friday, they got the win 12-4 in 6 innings. Aaron Gabriel allowed 3 runs and collected 4 strikeouts in 4 innings pitched, which was pretty impressive. Megan Greer went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs, and Taylor Coing, I hope I'm saying your last name correct, but she ended up going 2 for 4 with a grand slam, so that grand slam was definitely something to behold. Very impressive game there from Taylor. And looking over at Saturday, the Lady Vols lost to Missouri 9-8 in a very close game, very late game as well. I don't think it was over until around midnight. But the Lady Vols scored 6 runs in the first inning alone. But Missouri, they got 1 run in the second, 2 in the fourth, and 6 in the 6th inning alone to take the lead from the Lady Vols. But Annie Aldretti went 2 for 4 with a home run and 4 RBIs, so very impressive game from her. And Scarlett McSwain, she went 2 for 3 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. That's a very big game for such a young player there out of McSwain. So I look for more to come from Scarlett. She's very impressive to watch. So a lot to look forward to there with her, and definitely with Annie too. I mean, this is definitely a seasoned player that people are used to seeing things out of. But those 4 RBIs, that was definitely big for her. And looking at Sunday's win against Missouri, 10-7, Megan Greer had 3 runs, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and 1 home run. Shalia Geethers, I hope I'm saying your name correctly as well, 1 run, 1 hit, 3 RBIs, and 1 home run there. And looking at Megan Gregg, she also had a home run. So, I mean, that's 3 Lady Vols who all hit home runs. That's really impressive for this team. Missouri was definitely going to come in. They had a lot to be playing for, too, because the Lady Vols are just looking dominant this season. But to get this win against this Missouri team, that was definitely very impressive to see. The next game for the Lady Vols will take place on Tuesday at 6 p.m. against ETSU. That'll be a really exciting game there for the Lady Vols. It's always nice to have local matchups like this, but that will be a home game, like I said, on Tuesday, so something to look forward to there with the Lady Vols. But their next SEC matchup will be this weekend against Georgia. The first game is set for Saturday at 3 o'clock. So look forward to the SEC matchup. SEC play is underway for both baseball and softball, like I said, so a lot to look forward to this season. Both teams are looking really good. I mean, the baseball team is struggling a bit, but I know they can make the turnaround really quickly. And the Lady Vols, I mean, they're 21-7 on this season right now. They're 9-2 here in Knoxville, so that's really exciting. But a lot going on Rocky Top. We're hoping that we can have even more basketball to talk about. Hopefully the Lady Vols will win tonight so we can keep talking about basketball and hopefully continue the show until they make it to Tampa and bring back the hardware with that national championship. So we'll be hoping for the best. But thank you for joining the one-woman show this week for the Triple Play. But great show, and we will see you next week.